We have almost completed a client's huge white oak dining table and fluted bench seating.
There's going to be trim pieces that have to get scribed to the walls on behind the tops.
Even when the building portion is complete, there is still work to be done to install these.
A lot of stuff still to go. We'll obviously take y'all along for the install, so you'll be able to see this actually installed in probably a couple of weeks or so.
From our videos, we often get questions about how we get clients.
And 99% of the work that we get comes from referrals and word of mouth and people just bumping into us while we're working.
And we want to take that opportunity a bit further.
I want something to take to job sites that represents our brand. You set that thing up, people are gonna be like, dang.
Good morning, you guys. We have had some unfortunate last couple of days. Dylan has had some severe pain in his shoulder, and that is sending pain all down his arm. So he has been taking care of that. In the past, he usually just fights through it and usually makes it worse. So he has been trying not to use it, taking care of it, ice, heat, ibuprofen, everything. While he's been tending to that, I have been continuing making my orders, but it is now raining outside, and it has been for the last few days and probably for the next week, who knows. So I haven't been able to put finish on them, and today's a Wednesday, and we usually post on Monday, and we haven't filmed a second until now. So we have a lot of work to do. Dylan said he's been feeling better, but I don't think he should be going 100% right now, so we're gonna have to try to figure something out so he doesn't have to use his arm so much. So that's a lot of work for me, but that's okay. You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. This is a partnership, this whole business. We have a project that we really wanna do using some of this poplar right here, so we'll see what we get done today and for the rest of the week. So that is that. In order to do anything today, however, I need to clean up because the shop is an absolute disaster, which is pretty normal nowadays.
Well, I just knocked out a mortising jig for my router, which, as you can see, turned out pretty darn good. I just used the CNC to whip up MDF base plate, and then I used these white oak runners here, which are basically dual-sided fences, and you could remove one and use it as just an edge guide if you wanted to. But then I took some time to mark out the center location on the bottom, as well as a handful of distances away from the center for common material thicknesses, so that you're not sort of like guessing with this fence. You can squeeze this fence to basically your material thickness on both sides, lock it in place, and then when you set it down on your material, it's already there and it's already really centered. If you're concerned about, if you ever make one of these and you're concerned about it being centered, perfectly centered, you can just do one pass with the router on this side of the board and then flip it around, do a pass on the other side, and it'll automatically center itself that way. But I wanted to use, the reason I did this is because I wanted to use this really large 1/2-inch upcut router bit from Bits, and it's got a 2-inch length of cut, so it's really convenient for doing really big, deep mortises. But the existing router plate I had didn't have enough thickness for this router bit to work. The router bit stuck out of the bottom of the router even with the router as high as it could go, so I needed to add a bit thicker base plate, which meant that the edge guide that comes with this thing doesn't work anymore. So I whipped that guy up, and then I just tested it out on this piece of 1.5-inch thick poplar, and it works really good. You know, I tend to plunge at the start of the line, plunge at the end of the line, and then clean up the middle. And yeah, this is going to be really useful for the project we're working on today, but also a lot of future projects. Well, as Molly mentioned, I did something in my shoulder. I think I have an impingement / some tendonitis potentially going on. And so I am a little gimpy right now, and I'm trying to do my best to not, do dumb things, but it's really annoying because the pain is like just enough to where I could be manageable and I could just power through it. But I know that if I do that, it's gonna make this last even longer, but it has not been fun. Anyway, so what I've decided to do in the meantime is I wanted to work on some sawhorses, some really nice kind of timber framed. They're not really timber framed, but they'll have that semi look to them. Sawhorses, because I want to make a portable Rubo workbench. Why do I want to make a portable Rubo workbench? I want something to take to job sites that represents our brand and what we're all about. You know, and show up to a job site and someone's got some flimsy plastic sawhorses like this that are covered in paint, and you know, I'm saying that because I've done that. It's fine. It's what a customer would expect. But when you show up, it's all my theory and in my head, with some like, you know, showroom quality type workbench, and you set that thing up, people are gonna be like, dang, they're serious.
You're gonna get questions.
Yeah, they're serious about what they're doing, and 99% of the work that we get comes from referrals and word of mouth and people just bumping into us while we're working. So, like for instance, the last job we did, I got a client because she came home and was going in her house door next door to my client and was like, hey, I heard you're doing that. Oh, that's really cool. And she ended up going and looking at it, and now she's a client. So I'm hoping that this will be like the best form of advertising possible. So that's the reason for it.
With some branding on the side too, of course.
Yeah, with some branding for sure.
Way to ship more orders. It's always a good day when orders go out. Thank you to everyone who has ordered so far. Let's go into town. On the ride home, I was thinking, first of all, how grateful and proud I am that people have purchased things that I have created with this little store, but also how proud I am of us that we have gained skills over these last few years. Well, it's been almost 8 years. That we've gained skills that we can actually like make a living with those skills. There's no greater feeling of using a skill to support yourself and hopefully keep evolving that skill and get better and better at it. I can't wait to show our kids everything that we do and to teach them that if they want to make something, I want to show them all the resources on how to achieve that. That's just my little spiel of the day, my thoughts.
We're actually in the editing phase of this video, but what Molly said in the last clip really struck a nerve with me, so I just wanted to say a few things. I know that many of y'all that watch our content want to start woodworking, and that may be because you want to save some money on some furniture, or you want to be able to start a side hustle, maybe even ultimately start a full-time gig with that, or maybe you even just want to get that feeling of being creative and using your hands to create something that gives you that like great sense of pride that is super healing for so many of us. Now I know that because so many of you comment down below of our videos and say things like, how did you get started with woodworking? How did you build that skill and such? And I wanted to get on here and say that all of those reasons why you may want to start woodworking are very relevant, but the one thing that I think people fail to remember and add into that equation, which is by far the most valuable, is that whenever you build a skill like woodworking, it doesn't have to be just woodworking, but like woodworking, it ultimately gives you skills that last you a lifetime. And they're skills that don't go out of style or that aren't just a fad of a type of hobby that ultimately like just ends up collecting dust in your closet. This is something that will continue to provide value and build base skills that help you enter new skills at a much higher starting level because of all the skills you learn in woodworking. Now honestly, I do a horrible job of ever promoting our project plans on these videos. If you've been around for a while, you know that I literally pretty much never bring these up, and I actually apologize for that because I think that our plans are the best plans. I guess that's a personal opinion, but I believe that they are the best plans that are available. And the reason is because when I create our plans, I think about this, okay? My goal is to get people to get the plan, but to complete the project. And after selling thousands of these plans, I know what those obstacles can be for people, whether it's a lack of funding, a lack of time, lack of space, a fear to start, and I try to eliminate as much of that as possible. So as you'll see on our website, if you choose to go over there, you'll see a wide range of projects, both small projects that require very little funding and very little space, as well as projects that require a lot of funding and a lot of space. I hope that there is something in there that you will find really useful to help you get started. So if you are one of the people who watch our videos that would like to build this skill along with us, then I highly recommend you check out our plans, and hopefully I'll do a better job of following up and reminding y'all about these plans in the future, because there is a tremendous amount of value there, and I personally guarantee that. If you are one of the people that would like to start woodworking and build that skill, then I highly recommend that you check out our plans and link in the description below. I'll even throw in this coupon code where you can get like 20% off the plans. And there's also going to be an email in the description below because I want to help you along the way. So if you have any problems along the way, email me and I will personally help you through it, because my goal is not to sell you a $10 set of plans that you throw in the closet and that gets dusty. I hope that you will build the thing and then build the skills, which will ultimately make you build more things and get even more fulfillment out of it. So I'm realizing now that like a few things I was going to say is literally just a sales pitch. So scratch the whole I have a few things to say and just turn it into a sales pitch thing, because that's what it's turned into. But I really believe in these products and I hope you guys will check them out. Let's get back into the video. Well, I got all of the mortise and tenon joints done today, and I kind of did it a little at a time, to be honest with you. My shoulder is killing me in this whole chiseling action is not the best for it. So I did get all of it done, but there's some more shaping and things that have to get done to these boards before we can assemble them. And that's gonna have to wait till tomorrow because yeah, I'm done. I'm done for the day.
You're out of commission for the day.
Yeah, I'm out.
You can see like how red, like your color is so red on that hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I got lots of extra blood flow there, aka it's trying to heal something that's not right. And well, if you're a small business owner, you know that sometimes your personal health isn't necessarily the number one priority. So I did give myself a good 2 days to get better, but now I gotta work through it. Now I gotta get back on the horse and figure it out. I'm a lot better than I was. I'm not saying this to say like I'm working through an injury. Like I think I'm past the point of thinking that I seriously injured it, and now I think I had more of an impingement, and I've been doing lots of mobility and things to try to open everything back up, and it is working, but it's just very sore.
Yeah, so you just have to tend to it at night, like after workout here. Yeah,
I'm really more like working through soreness. Don't worry, I'm not like working through a rotator cuff tear, hopefully. Molly and I just took a stroll down to what is now our sort of log storage area. Many of y'all haven't seen all of these logs on the channel because they've been sort of strewed around the property. And so one of the last weekends I actually got on the tractor and got all of these moved down here, and I even got the sawmill moved down here. And if you weren't aware, we've started this project a while back of getting our sawmill moved as well as the container moved back here and building a lean-to shed for the sawmill permanently because we want to create some beautiful lumber out of this, and we also want to build a kiln so that we can dry it and use it for furniture. But one of those steps that I've just haven't had time to do and finally have gotten done is to just take inventory of all the logs that we have and get them stacked up nice and neat out here so that they're ready to go when we get some time to actually be able to cut them. Now, I'm not super sure how many of y'all enjoy the whole sawmilling stuff. We've only done a little bit of it on the channel, but if you do, please leave a comment down below letting us know that you would like to see more of it, because it is somewhat of a monotonous sort of thing, so I'm not sure how much we're going to do of it on the channel, but I would like to show some more if y'all are interested, so let us know. Now, we didn't get a whole lot done this week. Obviously, my arm still sort of a little sore and tender, and I'm just sort of dealing with it right now, but I'm hoping to get a lot more done over the weekend on this workbench, and we're just going to call it quits so that I can take my time with this and not overwork trying to pump this video out. So not a lot that got done in this week's video, but I hope you understand. And we're actually going to double up on videos next week. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it, Molly?
You're right.
Yeah, so we're going to do 2 videos next week. So hopefully we can get our normal video out and one of actually finishing this sort of miniature workbench that we're doing. So hope you guys enjoy, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing, because Molly and I have a lot of big plans for this channel and what we want to do moving forward. And so yeah, we hope that you'll stick around and enjoy it with us and be along for the ride. So see you in next week's video. Peace.